Hey guys, I wanted to tell you about my hiking experience, and thank you for those comments of you guys that want to hear about it. I love that, right? It's more than just stocks. We're a community, and I really do care for you guys and want each of you to succeed. And so I appreciate you sending the love back. That's what it's all about: positivity, love, kindness. So with hiking, I sent you some pictures from the top. What a cool experience. I could not believe there was not any wind at the top, which that is very rare. And coming up the mountain, we saw marmots. We saw fat mice, which didn't know those existed. And then we saw the mountain goats, which I sent you a video of that. Also, what was the other thing we saw? Bighorn sheep or rams. We saw those. That was really cool. And so it was cool. The hike, you had like a flat, there was a wood walkway for a part of it. And then there was like a walk, a zigzag through like tall bushes. And then you got a part, that was rocks or like actually steps going up that were man-made. And then there was the rock part. And so it was cool. There were like different phases of the hike. It started, flatter. And then, for the first like 1/4, it was flatter. And then it started, being more moderate or raised with the elevation for the next fourth of it. And then it was just steep, the rest of it, which climbing to the top, they're literally just huge boulders you had to climb up. And so it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And I remember I did one 14'er, I think it was a few years back. And for some reason that day, my legs felt like jello. So it wasn't a good experience. I had a tough time actually, but this one, I felt good the entire time. And having two friends, talking, that helped too. One of my friends, they were both fighter pilots who I was hiking with. So they were talking about all their experiences and it made the time fly by. Using all their fighter pilot lingo, it was crazy. It's cool to learn that side, of things. I would love to be a fighter pilot, but I don't think I ever could because of my height. I think you have to be under 6'4". But anyways, I'm trying to still get a ride in one of those if that's possible one day. I'm still working on it. But anyways, that's like my ultimate thing to go into, one of those fighter jets. But anyways, so made it up there successfully and then came down so the weather was perfect. And coming down, once we got close to the end, the wind started to pick up a little bit. And for a moment, there was like a little hail and we saw storms coming in the distance. We saw some lightning bolts, which actually got a picture where I took a video and then took a picture snapshot and got the lightning bolt coming down. And so, but we got off the mountain just in time. And then we rewarded ourselves with Bojo's pizza on the way back. And man, had 4 slices of pizza. And that was the best part. Just, we rewarded ourselves. And if you don't know Bojo's pizza, it's really popular in Colorado. They actually give you honey to put on the crust. It's called their mountain pie or mountain pizza. And so try that out sometime if you're ever in Colorado. So, but anyways, that was my experience there. It was nice to do that. August is a good time to hike 14'ers. And always in the morning, you have to start early because in Colorado in the mountains, the weather starts nice. But then in the afternoon, thunderstorms, can roll in. And so you want to be off the mountain ideally in the earlier afternoon, because that's when, some people can get, stuck up there with bad weather. Anything can happen in the mountains. It's crazy where it could be, 80, 90 degrees down right in Denver, but then in the mountains, there's a blizzard. So you just never know. So, you have to pack, an extra coat, hat, gloves, prepare for anything. But that was my experience, my second 14'er I've done. And now I think I want to start doing one. We're talking about doing one every year now in August or July. And so that's going to be fun. So my next accomplishment, because in the past, I've done a half marathon. I'm not going to do a full marathon because I want to save my knees. But I've also done a sprint triathlon, which is when you swim a half mile and then you bike. For the one I did was 17 miles, but usually I think it's around 13 to 14 for the biking part. And then also the last part of it is a 5K run, which I'll never forget that part. After I did the biking, my legs felt like cinder blocks, and having to do that was the hardest 5K, which is about 3 miles that I've ever done, but it was a cool accomplishment. So now 14'ers, that could be my next thing. So let me know if you've ever done a 14'er. If you ever visit Colorado, again, you want to work into it. Obviously, you don't want to go straight from, sea level to doing a 14'er. You want to acclimate, right? First being in Denver for a day or two, if you're thinking about it, and then go up and drink a lot of water. Obviously, that's key, going high with high elevation. So that's my story. That it was a fun day. So thanks for asking, guys, and have a great week.